We got any questions?
Great SEC game. I thought for the first 32 plus minutes, it was going back and forth. Obviously, it's a game of runs in that first half. They were able to stretch the lead. Our guys were able to fight in the last 3 minutes to go into halftime. And that was a tremendous thing to go into halftime down two. We took care of the basketball, made good shots, converted transition offense from our half court defense. And ultimately, that gave us momentum. But in that second half, we wasn't able to get the lead. I thought we had multiple opportunities to do such, but that's sometimes how the ball bounced. And obviously, we kept them out of transition for the most part, but they made some tough half-court shots with our guys right there in the stands in their face. And I credit our guys for playing so hard. They did a great job in preparation. Our staff did a great job in preparation. And ultimately, Alabama got the win.
Questions for Coach Gates and Nick Honor?
Coach, did you get an explanation on the double tag?
On a double tech?
Yeah.
I guess the referee saw a double tech. They didn't explain anything to me.
And then the shove with NATO, did you get any explanation on that either?
Well, Nate apologized after the game. I've known Nate since he was a high school coach in Detroit. But I just posed the question, if that was players in a huddle with a hand on an opponent, what would take place? It would be an automatic technical foul, right? I thought I saw two referees in the huddle. It wasn't a technical foul. But that's the question I would pose. If it was players making hand contact, what would take place?
Just the overall physicality and chippiness of this game. I mean, what was behind that, do you think?
The chippiness,
There's the physicality.
I thought both teams was playing hard. Ultimately, our guys played hard. They played hard. And that's what the flow of the game presented. Ultimately, during those situations, you will want the ball to bounce in your favor, get more baskets or more free throws, but that wasn't the case. We came away with 0 free throws in the first half. You said it was a chippy game, right? Right? You said that, right?
Yeah.
Correct? But we shot 0 free throws in the first half. So I don't know.
Question in the back?
Yeah, Coach, 19 points for Bates and 18 for Honor. Just talk about their performance tonight.
Well, I thought Tamar Bates had been shooting the ball at a high level throughout the season. He's shooting 50% from 2, 50% from 3, 90% from the free throw line, and his stats are showing. I think he's playing with poise. His teammates are finding him in the right spots. He's not forcing anything other than that last shot that he missed that I thought was an opportunity for him to get to that line, but he wasn't able to draw the foul. You got to be a little bit more strong in there. Nick Honor, obviously going 4 for 9. I know he feels good to see that ball go in, right, Nick? Feels good to see that ball go in a little bit. I thought he had a level of focus to him. But, being a coach's son, I think Nick is more critical on himself. He's worried about those 2 free throws he missed and ultimately trying to come out with a win, which we did not. So Nick and Tamar played great, tremendous basketball.
Another one in the back?
Coach, since the time you've been in Missouri, how would you say your program has grown since your time?
That's a good question. I appreciate that question. I think ultimately when it comes down to a head coach, we've been in the infant stages of building a program. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, you have to spirit or even the identity of your team throughout a season. Many obstacles come about. So the growth of our team, looking at the off-season growth, trying to make sure that they're doing every little thing that adds to the value of performance is important. Our 8 core values are important. Them acclimating themselves to the academic part, but also balancing the rigors of training table or strength and conditioning and different things like that. So team building is very important. So the ultimate growth is in team building, making sure these guys continue to grow together, but also grow in our game plan.
Question in the front?
But you were able to hold Mark Sears to 9 points his season low. What was maybe your coaching game plan on him as maybe the Alabama's leading scorer this season?
Sears played a great game, but other guys stepped up. When you look at Riley Griffin, he stepped up. When you look at Estrada, they stepped up and made some tough plays. I thought early in the game, Pringle had 10 points in that first half, and he was able to get some easy baskets. But when you have, the fulfillment of those, so they went 7 for 13. Those two guys who filled in for Sears, and Sears still made a big three in that second half. So ultimately, he's a veteran player, one that, they'll lean on a lot, but I thought their players stepped up.
All right, a couple questions from Zoom.
Coach, as far as East goes, we saw him kind of have an off night, and we heard Tom Hart on the broadcast say he wasn't around for shoot around last night. Is there anything that you saw about East's performance tonight other than it was just a bad shooting?
Well, Sean
Game.
went out there and played 30 minutes and competed to the best of his ability. Ultimately, he led us with 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals. He's a young man that's always going to give his very best, no excuses. He was able to dress and put his shoes on, and he tied them tight, and his heart was involved in the game, and that's the most important thing. So he played well. He would love to always play better, but sometimes other guys do step up. Nick Honor stepped up. Jesus stepped up. Tamar Bates stepped up. And Sean was just as loud cheering for those guys as he would or anyone would cheer for him.
Dennis,
Coach.
I'm curious, the incident in the huddle with Nate and Aiden, did you see that happen live, or have you seen a replay? And how about, Aiden's kind of restraint to walk away?
Well, I trust our referees in situations like that, and they had it completely in control, I believe. But again, I pose the question, if players were in a situation where something like that happened, what would it be is the biggest question. What will result in that? I believe, because we did say it was a chippy game, and that happened when? What time was on the clock?
Definitely first half. I don't.
Okay. so
7:38
that could've-
in the first half.
What's that? It happened in the first half, right?
Yep.
That was a possibility for us to go to the free throw line, but we shot 0 free throws. And again, ultimately, I trust the referees and that they had everything under control, I guess.
Couple questions for Nick, please.
Nick, coach talked about, y'all played a pretty good 32 minutes. What do you think changed down the stretch there that allowed Alabama to pull away?
I would say, just second chance points. A couple of those rebounds, bounced down our direction. Or we just weren't there. They knocked down a multitude of threes in the second half. And with us, it's really just little stuff. Just that, little small window. As you can see, game was right there with 8 minutes left, and then they kind of busted the lead open. So I would say just, second chance points, and just the extra efforts.
Nick is one of the veterans in this locker room. What do you guys kind of say to each other to kind of keep when you're on a losing streak like this, to keep your mindset where you want it to be?
I just tell the guys, it's a long season. The season doesn't end tomorrow, so we just got to fix some things and, keep our habits. When you're doing good habits, they don't always, the results don't always show up right away. So we're just going to keep, chopping away, carrying water, and we'll be successful.
One final question for Coach or Nick.
Coach, what kind of went into the decision to start Connor Vanover, and how would you also, evaluate Jesus Carler or Martin's performance?
Well, first of all, Connor earned that opportunity. I thought he played some tremendous basketball, and his presence in the game helps. Ultimately, he's a seasoned guy, been through a lot of games. His minutes may not reflect how important he is, but I thought his focus was there, and he earned that. At the end of the day, Jesus has been playing tremendous basketball coming off the bench, and you guys know me best. At our, when we're at 100% and we have depth, we have multiple guys coming off the bench with the ability to score in double digits. Jesus provides that. Outside of that, we don't know where it will come from. And ultimately, we got to play shorthanded, but we're playing. Our guys, we have no excuses. Our guys are out there practicing every day as hard as they can, and they're performing and giving their very best. And we're going to continue to challenge each other. We're going to stay positive, and we're going to do it without pointing fingers. We're going to do it in a honorable way. We're going to play very hard, and we're going to compete at a high level, and we're going to do it in a respectable way. Again, I'm proud of Aiden Shaw and his ability to restrain himself and his teammates' ability to restrain themselves. But again, Nate apologized after the game.
All right, thanks, Coach. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, MIZ.